Hey all, here are OS Reviews. In the past, we've checked out a number of Bluetooth speakers from a company called Abramtek, and most recently it was a compact one called the M8. But all of their units that we've seen previously have been pretty impressive in terms of audio quality, the volume that it packs, and it really specializes in giving you a lot of punch in terms of bass. So today we're taking a closer look at their newest product. It's called the X90, and it still combines a really interesting design. This time it actually has a table lamp function on the base, so there's LED lights that you can tap on to turn it brighter and dimmer, in addition to being a 360-degree wireless Bluetooth speaker that packs 50 watts in terms of the sound, as well as a 5,000 milliamp hour capacity battery, which is pretty large, but certainly does look like a very distinctive design, as you can see there. You'll usually find it for around $100. With coupons, it sometimes sits at around $80, which I think is fair. It's not going to be the cheapest speaker out there, but you are paying a bit more for this interesting design. And if you pick up a pair of two, you can connect them wirelessly to each other in this TWS stereo mode, and it will separate the left and the right channels automatically. It can even act as a power bank to charge up your smartphone. X90 is also known as the Sound Shine series. And then inside, of course, we have just the X90 speaker itself, along with a USB Type-C charging cable, standard stuff, as well as a user guide, and finally the aforementioned tripod stand. So it's actually detachable. It definitely looks like a very premium design, with the accents here being in chrome and made out of aluminum. The top plate here that's metal is also touch sensitive and acts as the switch for turning on the light. Right in the middle there, it's going to vibrate. It's the passive radiator for the added bass. And then on the sides is where we have the more traditional drivers for the left and right channels. You can kind of make out underneath this fabric mesh. On the very back here, we do have some I/O, including a Type-C port for charging the built-in battery, full-size USB Type-A for using it as a power bank, and there's also volume controls on the edge, with the bottom key here also acting as a power button that you can tap on for a few seconds to turn on the Bluetooth function. Finally, on the base, we can also see the kind of LED array. That is how it acts as a light, continuing with the metal construction here, and finally a standard tripod mount. Classy design. Now here is a contrast with the M8, the last speaker that we saw from them, which was also a portable compact Bluetooth speaker just like this one. It's mainly down to preference in terms of design, and the M8 doesn't have a built-in LED flashlight or a lamp, so it's only a speaker, versus this one has some added utility. Right, so attaching the built-in tripod here. Afterwards, there are some soft touch rubber feet on the base here that prevents it from sliding around on a surface. You can just set it up. It looks like so. Pretty elegant, I'd say. Now, the tripod here can also be slightly extended in terms of the arm length. So if we see these little knobs here, I can also twist on them to pull out an extension arm, and it will lock into place at various different adjustments. So you can also make it a little taller using this mini tripod. When fully extended, in fact, this is the maximum height that it can be at. Definitely becomes taller and more similar to a night light or a desk lamp that you may have on the side of your bed. Moving into performance, when you're using it as a portable unit that is detached from the power outlet, the light or table lamp function will only activate when you also turn the Bluetooth speaker function on. There's 3 levels. It's not the brightest light in the world, but if you are in just a relatively dim space, you can see it still definitely makes a difference. Casts a gentle warm glow. You can't really change the color temperature or the color itself, but still works quite well and kind of matches the overall aesthetic that they're going for. But if I do want to turn also the Bluetooth speaker off just by pressing on the power key here for a few seconds, you'll see that the light here will also turn off as well. Initially, I thought that might be a weakness in the design, because what if you wanted to just, use it as a lamp without listening to music? This means that you have to also turn on Bluetooth, and that consumes more power. That's when I realized that if you actually plug this into the Type-C port, plug it into the wall, it will then allow you to use it as a lamp even without turning on the speaker. And now you can see this light has turned on. That means that we can also use the lamp now, even though the speaker here has been turned off. And I can also turn on the speaker, of course, while it's charging, but now the modes for the light and the speaker can be operated independently. And overall, it still is comfortable enough, I'd say, in terms of getting some reading done. It is a pretty warm glow, no issues there. And then here is a closer look at all the LEDs embedded onto the base. There are actually quite a lot of them scattered and diffused. So if we take a closer look at the audio quality, let's play back a demo track next. think it's pretty obvious that the quality here is definitely impressive considering the still relatively compact size of the speaker. There really is a ton of bass, as usual from Abramtek's units, and you really see how the passive radiator there just vibrates on the top whenever you're listening to a drum beat or a bass boosted track, and it is very prominent, but at the same time it doesn't really overpower other elements of the sound. It just sounds really satisfying whenever something like that drops or hits. So if you're listening to pop music, if you're watching even a movie, a soundtrack, it just really comes to life. It's a 360-degree speaker, so you can hear how even as we turn the speaker around, it doesn't really disrupt the amount of intensity that you're listening to, and the overall sound is still well balanced and consistent. So you can put this into the middle of a room, for example, and folks just walking around it will still get the same impressive experience. It also gets really loud despite the small size, and we were only at around 30 to 40% volume in that demo, but it was still able to fill up this small room really without any problems. Mids and trebles also sound clean. I don't really hear too many hints of distortion or static, so we can turn the volume, let's say, all the way down low, and even right now, you can hear how it's just very clean aside from just the music itself. There's really no hints of any static or hissing in the background. It's using the latest Bluetooth 5.0, although codecs it supports is the typical SBC and AAC. You can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Abramtek X90 series, the Soundshine, interesting table lamps, bass boosted wireless Bluetooth speaker.